Labour are... they're not as popular as they were. Like in June the 4th last year, they were so popular, they won the election by miles and miles and miles. Most people voted for the Labour government. And since they came in, some stuff hasn't quite gone their way. So the winter fuel allowance, they ran out of money. They said there's not enough money, so we're going to cut the winter fuel allowance for the rich, and the people who are on pension credit can keep it. That obviously doesn't work because means testing is really hard to do, and people who are just above pension credit then really lose out, and then you have pensioners being cold in their homes, which nobody wants. Oh, then there was a 2-child benefit cap, which for the same reason there's not enough money to lift. So for people who are into looking about poverty, talking about poverty, they say that 2-child benefit cap is plunging people, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of children into poverty. And there's fiscal drag where the margins stay the same on income tax, so more people are paying higher bands of income tax. There's a national insurance rise for employers, so they have to pay more. And there's a national minimum wage rise. Now, a lot of people like the national minimum wage rise because they're earning more per hour, but it's also really a lot of money for big employers. And a few of these things are gonna involve both sides. Some people say they like the Labour government because of the national minimum wage rise. Some people say it's making businesses hard and you can't employ more people, and it's tricky. This year we've got a lot of people coming across the channel in small boats. Last year, the Labour government tried to close a tax loophole in which farmers or farms didn't pay inheritance tax, which meant that lots of rich people were buying farms so they didn't have to pay inheritance tax. So the Labour government went, do you know what we're going to do? We're going to tax the rich. We're going to take away that loophole. But then not all farms were owned by rich people, and so some people's farms are going to be torn apart. It's not very good. There's going to be oil in Rosebank and they're going to drill for it. And some people think that's good. And those people hate net zero. And they say the net zero is going to make us poorer and it's not going to help the world at all. So let's get rid of net zero. But some people say net zero is really good and Rosebank is really bad. And this is where it's very hard for a government because you're kind of stuck in between everything. You've got to choose a path, but whichever path you choose is going to be deeply unpopular. So how do you choose a path? Oh, and then they had to release prisoners early. And then Rachel Reeves accepted free tickets to Sabrina Carpenter. That was an odd thing to do, wasn't it? 4 MPs have resigned from the government in the first 6 months of their government. That's a lot. It's not quite as many as Liz Truss, but it's a lot. Money's really tight. I'll tell you why. It's the pandemic. It's not 14 years Conservative government. It's the pandemic. Inflation's forecast to rise, unemployment's going to rise. Things have started not very well, and it's a chance it's going to get worse. But before you run around the room screaming about the awfulness of this government, wait. Let's talk about growth. Growth is their number one mission. They keep telling us. If you've ever seen a Labour politician in the last year, they've talked about their number one mission is growth. And that means they've got to get the economy moving. They've got to keep plates spinning all the way around to keep things moving. So what are they doing? They've got big infrastructure projects going ahead. They're expanding airports. They're building train lines. Loads of infrastructure projects going on so we can move about the country better. Oh, you don't want to travel? That's fine, because we're building more broadband. Although I'm still stuck on terrible broadband. 1.3 million houses. Now, it is worth noting that it used to be 1.5. I don't quite know where the 0.2 million houses came from. They must have disappeared somewhere. Anyway, the point of this is that it's not 250 or whatever it is, 1,000 houses a year. Because what they're doing right now is that planning rules, is setting up the infrastructure, is getting things ready so that at some point in the future, bang, 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 all across the country, loads of houses. And do you know what houses mean? Houses mean that people have the chance to not live with their parents, to not be stuck in rented housing. And in fact, if you are going to rent, rent's going to come down because supply and demand. We can see people renting affordably. We can see people buying their own homes. Houses are the best. Hospital waiting lists are coming down. That's partly because they got the NHS workers off strikes. Now there's a chance they might strike again, but they've got to get those waiting lists down. When people are fit and well, they can go to work. When they're not, they can't, and the government has to look after them. It's really expensive to look after them before they go in hospital and then in hospital. Get them fixed up, get them out working. Everyone's happy. They're banning disposable vapes, so we've got healthier children, and the smoking, they'll never be able to smoke legally. It's good. Integration of AI, getting these AI ninjas in to do all this stuff. I don't understand AI, but they're gonna make it better. Imagine how good AI can make this film. Yes, some MPs have left, like some, but you know what? There are so many talented MPs still there. Those are just some of the measures, right? Growth. If this country can grow the economy, if there are more jobs, better paying jobs, better houses, better transport, better NHS, better schools. We haven't heard much about schools, this government, but if those things are possible, this government, come 2028, 2029, whenever the election is, this country is going to vote for them so hard. And of course, if none of that does work, if we're not growing, if taxes have to stay high and services aren't that great, we're not going to vote for him. An exciting time in UK politics. So often you have the tribalism that makes it hard to tell. I think right now, if this Labour government can make us better off, they'll stay. If they can't, they won't.